You know why people like Paul did not get married? That thing consumed him to a point that if he got married, he knew somebody was going to suffer. That woman will wonder what kind of a man he married, because that thing consumed him. Why people like Jesus did not marry? It's because that thing consumed him. He wouldn't bring somebody to come and suffer, because the woman would be like, this man is not there for me. He's always traveling, moving here. Except somebody, if you marry, the person is able to go with you like that or understands your calling. But most times, that's what brings conflict in marriages. Somebody was talking about marriage yesterday. Reverend was speaking about marriage yesterday. Let me even tell you something. If you are a man of fire, know that your calling has consumed you more than anything else. Before you get married, settle it with God. Be sure he's calling you to get married. If he's not calling you to get married, there's room for you to be a eunuch. Yes, there's something called eunuch consecration. You can take the eunuch consecration and stay chaste all your life. If you can, celibacy. You can become a celibate and not have anything to do with a woman and fulfill your purpose and your calling. Paul did it, but it's for very few people. It's not everybody that has the ability. Don't go and start saying, I can do a celibate thing. You'll mess your life up. There's part of our faith, one of our denomination in our faith, in our Christian faith, where the priests are not allowed to marry. A lot of them are having problems because that's not their calling. There are people, if God is calling you for that kind of consecration, he anoints you for it. He puts his grace on you to be able to stay without. There are people who don't have the grace to stay without women. It's needful you marry. So you don't get into temptations and all that. It's very important. But even when making a choice of who to marry, be sure you settle it with your spouse. Let your spouse know your vision first too. Let her know the kind of calling you have. If you are a woman and you are in ministry, before you say I do to a man, you have to let the man know what your calling is. You guys have to settle it first. If not, if you get into the family without settling some of those differences, there will be conflict. Like for me, before I got married, I and my wife had a discussion about this. My wife is one of the greatest gift God gave me. If you see her, you won't know she's my wife. You wouldn't know. She can be in the service and I'm preaching. You would think she's one of the sisters. You wouldn't know. She doesn't care about seat. She can come to church and go and carry chair and sit at the back. Yes, she's fire. She can sit there, let everybody do what they are doing. All needs to pray for the man. All needs to support the man. Is to take care of the man. She knows. Before I married her, she was trained as a daughter. Till today, she doesn't even know how to call me sweetheart, honey, baby. She doesn't even. Is daddy. If you see where she's honoring me here, you will not believe she's my wife. I'm not saying you should go and adopt my model. Stay with your own. All of us have different things that work for us. And I have that. Let me understand. If they are doing, it's not working for, they should adopt my own. You meet my wife by God's grace, as God gives us grace. Yes, sir. It's not easy for them to call you. It depends on the mood. For instance, my wife, before we got married, she was the music director of our church. She didn't even know the thing was coming her way. I had several ladies who were after me, running up and down. They wanted Pastor, good morning, sir. It's not that they are respectful. They will come bring plates full of juice and meat pie. Daddy, will you eat? So I knew that these people were looking for something. They were everywhere around me. I had that situation. At the time, I was even confused. I didn't want to marry until my spiritual father came to our church for the first time. When he landed, first thing he said was, Dr. Prince, we have been together all this while. One of the reasons I came is to dismantle this equation for you. I've not seen ring in your hand yet. I said, this man should not go here. And then he announced, he said, next year I'm coming is for wedding. And all the sisters, woo, 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 woo. I said, these people don't know what they are doing. But there was one lady in the church I kept observing. That one was not interested in showing her face before pastor. She was interested in her assignment, that her music thing. She was interested in helping the ministry, running errands, doing things. No attachment. She wasn't even looking for me. The first day I told her, you're the one God said I should marry. You're the one I feel led to get married to. She said, it's not true, sir. It's not true. No. Me, how? I said, all these things you're doing is a proof that you're the one. The ones who were feeling like they earned it, they merited it, were not the ones. God will always go where people are not deserving of him to pick people. God will always go to the bush to look for David. The ones who are not looking for power are the ones God gives power to. The ones who are not looking for popularity are the ones God makes famous. The ones who are not looking for promotion are the ones God promotes. And I can can tell you some other things I looked out for in her, because I knew this phase of my ministry, the thing God called me to do, requires a whole lot of sacrifice, requires a lot of commitment, and I needed excess patience. A woman who has patience, endurance, a woman who can understand with you, who can pray with you, who can back you up. A woman who is not interested in her own visibility, she's interested in your visibility, she's interested in your own success, she's not threatened by what you achieve. A woman who will not be at home and wondering, I was watching your picture, I saw a lady standing by you taking picture. Who is that lady? No, God helped me in that area. Let me tell you this, your marriage should be based on your ministry. Choose your spouse based on your calling. There's a part where you choose based on your personal satisfactions and all that, but if that is the primary reason you got married, your ministry will be affected. There must be a balance between your ministry and your home. If you take home alone and lose your ministry, you will account to God for that ministry. If you take ministry alone and lose your home, you still account to God. So you must balance the equation.